guys, and welcome to another episode of Hilltop HomeGrown. Today I'm going to look at the potting bench that we used in the seeding video, just to show you, because I made that from scratch. I just want to show you exactly how I made it, because I only made it from scrap bits of pallet wood and things that I've picked up here and there, and it's really simple, straightforward, easy to make. So I mean, I do sell them, to be honest. It's on my Etsy store, so I'll put a link to that in the description. But I want to show you kind of how you can create these things that are really useful, and they do add a lot of value to your experience gardening. You know, when you're doing your seeding and things like that, it just makes things immeasurably more simple and easy to do. The other thing we're going to look at is I'm going to look at what I call our garden Bible, so to speak, and it's basically all the notes and everything we've recorded throughout the years of us doing this, and all the information we've gathered on growing from that. We've printed it out, put it into a folder, so we've got a book there, so if we need to know something we can look it up and it's there straight away for us. And I'll show you exactly what we do with that at another time, later on in the video actually. So let's first have a look at the potting bench here. So here's the potting bench. It's simple, easy, 4 legs. Couple of braces on it down the bottom there just to make sure it stays steady, and it's got these rails here. Now the best bit about this potting bench is the top is removable. That was done out of design. Take the top off, you can knock all your soil and things off, and also you notice the top is slatted. Now these slats allow any compost and things to fall through, because what we've done is we've actually put a bag of compost underneath the table, and then it just slots back in there like that. Easy, simple, ready to go, and that just allows us then to have the freedom when we're doing our seeding for the plants and things to be up here, and they're a comfortable height, and because you can make it yourself, you can do them to a custom height, to whatever is comfortable for you, which is very important into how you're gardening and things like that. This height has been set not just for me but for my wife. So it's a comfortable, easy height for us to use when we're doing the work out here. Now, as I say, I just made it from strips of pallet wood. Made it about, as deep as I wanted it, and this is just about as deep as a piece of worktop. And then to make it, it's quite simple really. Just cut the length of wood to all the same size, to about whatever length you want the table to be at. And put a couple of braces in it, and then screw them all together, and then make sure you've got gaps in between. Just use one of the pieces of wood you've got as a spacer to make sure that everything fits. Now what I've done to make it removable and to make all this nice and flush and everything, make it look a bit pretty, is I put this rail here, just so it sits on that rail rather than kind of having a screwed in tabletop. And that is essentially the basics of a potting bench. I'd say the most useful thing that we've done is I've created an empty space underneath. Now that empty space underneath is where, as I say, we keep our compost bag. So when we're doing all our potting and things like that, all we quite simply have to do is knock everything through, give it a brush off, tap it off, things like that. When we're done, all the compost goes through underneath, straight back into there, so there's no mess. And that's the ideal thing that you're looking for. And I'll show you just very quickly, as I say, like the rails that we've got underneath, just so you can see where the braces and things like that work to support it. Right, so here underneath the bench you can see, look, bag of compost that comes underneath, so when I can drop stuff through from the top, it just drops straight through and back into the bag just as we need it to. So there's, as I say, there's no mess with this, and these rails just give it a bit of rigidity and support, and that's what you're looking for. You're just looking for something that's going to be stable, sturdy. It can take the weight quite happily. As I say, the pallet woods are quite strong, and it's really simple, easy to make. What I'll do, as I say, I do sell these if you want them, so I'll put the link to the Etsy link up there. But the main thing, if you are going to try and make one of these yourself, just the only advice I can give is the legs, obviously L-shaped legs, so that you can sit the runners inside for your top to sit on, and also drill your holes first, otherwise the wood is liable to split, and that's the last thing you want. You don't want your wood to split, so just drill some pilot holes in first, then put your screws in, and away you go. And it's very simple. It took me about an hour to make this, and I didn't have any pre-designs. I designed it all myself, so about an hour from start to finish with all this. It's very quick, simple, easy to put together, but it's so effective and it works really wonderfully well, I think. So that's the potting bench. We're going to look now at the what I call a garden Bible, and we'll have a look, see how that works and what it is that's useful about that for us in terms of our planting and our planning, and mainly the planning throughout the year for us there. So this is our garden Bible, so to speak. We keep it in a black folder, keep it in the polytunnel on the shelves we have over there. It's just quite simple, straightforward contents page, so we know where everything is. Just make sure it gives us a list of everything, and it tells us, you know, what types we're growing as well. That's what I've got listed on the contents page. So leeks are the Bluetooth Soleils, peas are the Kelvin Wonder, radishes are Scarlet Globes. It goes through everything. It just tells us what exactly we've got and what we need to be looking at throughout the year. So for the aubergines, the Black Beauty, it tells me the plant spacings, it tells me the germination temperatures, it tells me how long they take to grow and when the best kind of planting time is for them as well, and that's the most useful thing there for us. So it goes through all that right throughout all the crops until we come to the back, where I've got kind of like growing calendars, which just little tables I've made. Again, I just did all this on the computer and printed it out. It's really simple, quick, easy to do, but it's useful. It helps really speed things up, and that's the best thing that I can recommend. It's just speed things up, get everything as efficient as possible so the information is to hand. I know you can use your phones and things like that, but this is simple, easy. It's there, it's on the shelf ready for us. So as I say, these calendars, it tells me the average temperature throughout day and night, because that's important. Some stuff requires a certain level of temperature day and night, so that's a key thing to know. And it tells me what plants I can plant and whether I'm harvesting them as well. I mean, a lot of these in the January, because they can grow in such cold temperatures, they're quite happy in the warm as well, a lot of them. So you're harvesting them and planting them all year round, and it just tells me roughly how long each one will take to get to harvest. So radishes, for example, 28 days, turnips 50 days, things like that. And then as we go through, say to March, where more things are getting ready to be planted in the warmer weather, because we're up to an average temperature of 5 degrees C, and I say that's day and night, the 5 degrees C average temperature. Now that is important because the warmer night temperatures, the night temperatures will bring it down, so your average temperature is about right, and it shows the cooler climate, especially in here in the polytunnel. You can increase that a bit because you know that's the outside temperature, but in the polytunnel you've got your extra warmth during the day especially, and it does stay a bit warmer and a bit more kind of happy here at night, so to speak. But again, it just tells you can plant your beetroots. We're planting Boltardi this year. They'll be ready in 63 days. So you're not going to be harvesting them in March, but by the time you get to the end of your 63 days, you will do. That's it. This has helped us phenomenally this year. Just getting that in place and ready for us. I mean, it looks like a lot of work, but it's not. It's a lot of useful information. And once you've got it done, it's there. It's ready for you to use, and it's something that, if you're out here planting, you think, oh, I'm not sure whether that's ready to harvest, you think, well, actually, although it looks ready, it's only been in the ground 10 days, it's not going to be ready just yet. We've got another 20 days or so left to go, so that's really the important thing. But keeping just a simple little folder, you know, from your local kind of supermarket or anything like that, full of that information to hand, is really going to help you in terms of learning as well, because once that information is to hand, you keep checking it, it keeps going in up here, and eventually you'll learn it off by heart. So that's the best piece of advice I can give you. Next time, what we're going to look at, we're actually going to look at some of the fruit trees we've got in the next video, and that's going to be quite interesting because we've got a bigger project with those fruit trees, which I'll let you in on next time. So thanks for watching again, guys. Like, subscribe, all those kind of things. Cheers for watching. See you next time.